This coverage is brought to you by Rami Rent.
Hello and welcome, disc golf fans, to the 2022 Copenhagen Open European Pro Tour event presented by Prodigy Disc and Disc Connection and NBDG, as well as Rami Rent. I'm your host, Nate Perkins, with my good friend and co-founder of You Play Disc Golf, Zoe Andyke.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for having us at the inaugural European Pro Tour. Let's take a look at the standings after the first 9. We've got Sonja at +9 and a tie between Heidi and Camilla at 2 over, and Rachel Turton coming in first place at even from the other card. We're looking forward to watching the action unfold in the back 9. Starting with hole 10, look at this technical tee shot. It's a par 4, 426 feet. Trees are lining the left, trees are lining the right, and even the middle of the fairway. Players need to scope out their landing zones and make a plan to put together this par 4 to create a birdie opportunity or a par for themselves. Fairly open looking green, super tough looking fairway.
A lot of technical holes out here at Valbyparken, not too far from downtown Copenhagen. I've never had the chance to visit Denmark myself. Made a few good friends in Hjalte Hensen, and of course, Carl, KJ Nybo.
Okay, shout out to KJ. One of the, I would say, longest sponsored and touring professionals from the country. Heidi for her tee shot.
Heidi definitely displaying the most pace off the tee. She demonstrated that on the final hole of the front 9. And we're looking at a standstill here from the back of the tee pad from Sonja. Don't see that very often, but she pures the line.
And I think it's her most confident, consistent, and accurate shot, throwing standstill from the tee. And as you can see, placing her right in the center of the fairway. Sizing up that second shot, looks to be just holding on to the disc a little longer than she had planned. We'll kick her left.
And Zoe, have you noticed what they have attached to every tree?
I think this is a very cool, environmentally conscious effort to save the trees from discs actually hitting and kind of carving or chopping notches out of the trees there, so prolonging their growth and their life.
I love that.
Brilliant.
Great idea. Hard for the city to say that disc golf is anything but a positive at that point. What a technical hole hole 10 is proving to be.
It's definitely a disc golfer's either dream or nightmare, going down a fairway like this.
Yeah, no doubt. There's one window right there that Heidi just flew through.
Yep. And she's put in a good spot. Here's Sonja for her third shot. And keeping it low, not wanting to mess with that low ceiling. And I believe she'll be just outside of the circle or at circle's edge.
Camilla kind of pulled that one a little bit, but she's within 7 meters.
Sonja giving it a little jump and placing herself within tap-in range.
Oof.
Oh, Camilla reaching for that birdie, but Just dies out of the air a little bit right and should be an easy comeback putt for her.
And we saw Heidi struggle just a little bit inside the circle during that front nine.
Confidently tapping in the bogey, Camilla Kampen.
Get that putter out of here. Let me just slide that putter on out of my way and jam this putt.
And I like the time that she's taking to gather herself. You're right. Squeaks in that bogey stroke, but nonetheless does cash it in.
As Terry Miller would say, that's left side corner pocket.
And a nice par there for Heidi. And that'll move her to the front of the box.
All right, taking a look at hole 11 here, par 3, only 71 meters. A little bit of a low ceiling off the tee, and there is an artificial lake on that left side that you can see is marked without a bounds, and we have significantly elevated tee pad. Excuse me, basket here. I mean, it is just on a mound.
Pretty drastic mound too. That's going to bring a bit of difficulty into the putting portion of this hole.
Yeah, Heidi not too happy with that drive. Anything outside the 10-meter circle here is likely a layup, especially if you're on that right side putting back toward that lake.
Oh, and this is looking very nice. Hitting the top of the mound.
Does that stick on the mound? What a shot from Camilla.
Beautiful stroke.
Gets the green flag.
Appreciate our spotters always. And he was hustling to give us the green.
And Sonja needs that to sit. And it does sit, but she's also in that difficult zone, that layup zone.
She's going to have to make a decision, certainly. Do we run this one? How's our confidence? And just a nice, easy layup there.
It's elevated enough that even if you're at the bottom of the mound, it's a tester.
Absolutely. And hopefully that sat right there on the backside, waiting for some confirmation.
A little bit headwind, left to right.
Even that close, though, the wind is super intimidating.
Sketchy.
That's a great par.
Baskets just really aren't meant to catch from that angle, and we see it throughout the Disc Golf Pro Tour season, putting on extremely elevated pins. And let us know what you think in the comments. Do you like to see elevated baskets, or would you prefer there be some sort of regulation in that department?
Beautiful birdie there for Camilla, and Heidi tapping in her par. And we are back here on hole number 12.
It's a par 4. Par 4 coming in at 205 meters. Winding completely dogleg left to right. And let me tell you, you do not want to get caught up in that early right side. The rough is extremely thick. This is one of the longer par 4s on the course.
Just a little trouble early there for Camilla. There is OB with the artificial lakes, and is marked with sticks and or OB flags. And then there's OB to the left of the asphalt road, but not on the paving stones. Wow.
What a line from Heidi.
Great shot.
Yeah.
Out in the open, completely safe.
It's got to be at least a 115-meter throw right there.
A little bit of an obstruction from the low-hanging branches, but still fought through there and is in the fairway. This approach mostly open. Looking to place yourself around those trees. Heidi is opting for the high hyzer to come clean. Oh.
Is that OB right there? I can't tell. Sometimes they play as a river out of bounds. I believe she's going to be safe. And Camilla with a
great approach. Absolutely confident, and she knew what she wanted. Picking her spot on the ground and landing it.
And Sonja is forced to throw this patent pending shot, and you can see these trees are just so thick. I mean, some of the most punishing rough that you're going to see out here at Valbyparken.
And you could see that she was completely faced in the opposite direction to try to throw that. Anheuser patent pending got her into some trouble, leading to a couple of troubled upshots there, and now she's lining up the open shot to the basket and not messing around, just looking for the tap in. Yes.
What a catch right there. And she's running that one down. She is stoked on that par.
Very happy. Heidi walking off of this green, smiling so big. Camilla also tapping in the par. Very strong, well-played hole. And although that's a double bogey, Sonja keeps her head up, ready to move on to the next hole.
All right, taking a look at hole 13, par 3, only 75 meters, but that road on the left is out of bounds, so you can see that the basket only a few paces from that OB. Another technical par 3 seems to be the theme out here.
On the day, this hole just playing barely over the par average. Our 6 FPO competitors seem to tackle it with confidence and, for the most part, walk away with the pars.
And good looking shot from Heidi. She's inside the 10-meter circle. And again, Sonja just getting that nose up right out of her hand seems to be her miss. Just a little pro tip for you guys out there. A lot of time if you're getting the nose up, you're likely off balance.
A good recovery shot. It's going to leave her with a little bit of a putt going into a headwind from that angle for her par.
Slide. Oh, she's left herself a little bit of a tester for her par.
And just grabbing chains, but not quite enough. The birdie for Heidi.
All right.
You can see her running it in. The momentum is high. She's played a couple of solid holds and just got the birdie.
You know, it's been a tough round one for Sonja. One thing though is she's definitely kept her composure. You know, not everyone can maintain when, you know, I don't think she's birdied thus far throughout the round, and definitely not playing to her potential.
Love to see her walk away though, seemingly shaking off whatever just happened and resetting for the next hole. Camilla will be doing the same, carding that bogey. And Heidi is feeling it. She has taken the birdie in the top of the box. Here we go. We are on hole 14. It's 189 meters, and it is certainly all of that and a par 4. We've got a little bit of OB danger with the artificial lake. It's marked with the sticks and the OB flags. And then there's also OB on and to the top right of the asphalt road. Players that find themselves landing on the paving stones will be safe, though.
And another very technical par 4. It's not necessarily the distance, but you can see the trees that create that final corridor. You can't be in them and still proceed down the fairway. I mean, they're thick. If you're in them, you likely have to pitch out.
Heidi giggling with fellow card mates that feeling pretty significantly lucky after that tree hit. Camilla finding a little bit of trees herself, but sliding herself up into an area that might be attackable. Sonja with a full run up, putting a move on the disc and getting herself out into the open for a good approach.
Yeah, one of the better drives that we've seen from Sonja. And she's laying up to the mouth there. She should be looking straight down that corridor, and she is. Sonja trying to match. This shot is technical. Can't push it too long or come up short. You do not want to be in those trees. And Heidi going up and over here, Zoe.
Spike hyzer way up into the air, and look at that.
Parks it. What a shot from Heidi.
Man. Pure confidence coming out of our FPO player here. Very fun to watch and see that shot executed.
And where is the Rami Rent replay on that one? I could see that one again.
I'd love to. It's a very good shot. And here's Sonja putting it just past the basket. Camilla confidently cashing in her par putt. Walking away even on this hole 14.
And this for a birdie 3 from about 5 meters.
just low. That noise that none of us disc golfers want to hear. The cage. A solid par putt there. And just a tap out for Heidi. Awesome after such a phenomenal Spike Heiser shot over the trees.
All right, moving into hole 15. It's a par 3 coming in at 118 meters. Again, we've got another corridor lined with these thick trees. This one plays nearly dead straight. Honestly, averaging a couple strokes over par for this FPO division.
And it is so tough to not only start your tee shot perfectly straight, but then finish and land it down that corridor. Certainly a challenging hole, even though it looks like there's open air. It's very technical. Up and over the left-hand side trees. Camilla's asking it for it to come down, and she's just on the edge of that right side. I like to see Sonja take her time, line it up, and here she comes with a full power X-step run up. Beautiful shot.
Yeah, that's a good looking shape right there.
She may have a little bit of a ceiling, but for the most part, that was, I believe, the closest to the pin on the drive.
Tough spot for Heidi. She's forced to go into this steep Heiser angle. And I believe I see her disc just outside the circle. What?
Getting creative.
What a crafty shot from Camilla right there.
Absolutely. That was full upper body composure and commitment for that upshot. Oh, nice. And ringing it around right underneath the basket there.
This for par from Heidi.
Oh! Man, what a bid. Fully confident and gave it all the chance in the world, just missing slightly high. From the tree line, just outside of the circle, Camilla lining up the step-through putt. Just a bit of an awkward ceiling there. And she's right under the basket for the tap-in. And Sonja tapping in her par. Confident stroke. Beautiful putt. Unfortunately, carding the bogey, but no more damage than that. And a bogey for Camilla there as well. And we are moving on here to hole 16. It's a par 4. Again, another 180 meters. We've got to get out of a tree gap here to a nice second portion of the fairway. Big open field. Approaching our basket that's just waiting right there for us. Big wide open green, just wind being the only factor of danger in the way.
Yeah, that tee shot's pretty technical.
Definitely technical.
Only a few meters across at the end of the gap. She had it on line, just a little high out of the hand.
And potentially seeing her competitor come out high before Camilla comes down low. And Sonja comes up the shortest here, so this will be her second shot.
Those trees are just so thick. I'm not quite sure the species, but they look similar to a tree that we have here in the United States that just swallows this alive.
And a nice big open air shot there. Camilla putting a pretty decent move on it. Lefty hyzer.
They kind of remind me of mesquite trees. You climb in the middle of a big mesquite, pokes holes in your
I
disc.
was just going to say, you might come out with a few holes, maybe a little bit of blood.
Really getting to open up now and just kind of rolls that one over a little bit. It has been a windy day. Doesn't look too windy right now. Seems pretty calm. Oh, and similar mistake, just kind of getting over the top on that one. Not really giving it a chance to fly.
A lot of times as disc golfers, whenever we're throwing into the ground, it could be a sign of our upper bodies being just a little bit ahead of our lower bodies. Hoping Camilla can re-find her timing.
All right. Well thrown. Forehand approach. Looks to be a harp. Seems to be the go-to forehand approach disc for anyone on that trilogy lineup.
I'd say so. Super trusty mold. Perfect. Just under the basket there. And Heidi.
Ooh.
Love that
catches.
putting stroke. It's a little bit left side, but very, very confident. And she's repeating that same motion every time.
And par's not bad here on 16. And you know, Zoe, I'm really looking forward to just the potential of this European Pro Tour. I mean, the Disc Golf Pro Tour over in the United States, it only started in 2016, and it's already proven to be successful. I just can't wait to see where the European Pro Tour is going to take the sport.
So true, Nate. I couldn't agree more.
Moving into hole 17 here, par 3, 94 meters. There is an OB in the artificial lake if you find yourself off and to the left. Slightly downhill on this tee shot.
Heidi on top of the box with plenty of power. But again, the thickness of those trees there in the foliage might have caught her up short of the circle. Now, keeping it low and out of the wind. However, coming up quite short from where she wanted to be, I'm sure, for Sonja. And Camilla opting to go up and over.
Nearly gets there, just comes up a bit short and doesn't look like she's going to have a putt from in there.
And the wind is definitely whipping. You can tell right there from the flag to our competitor's ponytail blowing in it. Tough to make that right touch decision for the upshot.
Yeah, nice approach. Oh, an even worse position for Heidi. She's going MTA shot.
Woo!
That's not bad.
Very, very well done. That's a technical shot to put up in the wind. Having to take a knee, but Camilla looks like she's within tap-in range there. Heidi, for her par, just being rejected by the Prodigy basket.
Nice putt. It's a good par for Sonja. Camilla for her par.
Looking to do the same, and she does cash in with her par. Just a small tap in here for Heidi.
And we've got one more word from our sponsors before we head into the final hole of round 1.
Our final hole for the first round of the European Pro Tour is a par 5, 327 meters. This is huge. Nothing short of an outstanding finishing hole. You've got to make it out, a little bit of a corridor gap, find your landing zone to take a left-hand turn into this open area, just a couple of minor trees in the fairway, navigating your way up to the basket. It's going to take a few placement shots, some distance, and then a confident putt to capitalize on your par here.
What a finishing hole. Do we got any OB on this one, Zoe?
Let's see. This hole is a double island hole. Normal OB rules apply to the double island.
And hole 18 is playing as the most difficult hole for the FPO. Nearly 3 strokes over par. And that's honestly about as high as you're ever going to see.
I mean, this hole has teeth. Certainly a score separator, and really just a hole that you've got to play to the best of your potential to try to get through with a hope for a par.
And this is Heidi's last chance to display that power that she's been showing us. Nice and controlled.
Very smooth.
Very flat, out of the hand. Love to see it. That's really the hardest thing when you first start playing disc golf, is learning how to throw flat. It took me so long to figure out how to do anything but throw it straight up in the air. You remember those days, Zoe?
I do remember those days. We teach about those days to prepare our friends for holes like this. Kind of a tricky shot there, just being in the branch of that tree. Although it is considered more of an open fairway, the technical difficulty of the islands and just the being caught up in those early trees.
She is getting the out of bounds signal right there. Her card mates even liked it. I liked it, honestly. Maybe just a touch too much hyzer.
Out of the hands for Camilla there. A little bit high, taking quite a bit of the inertia off the disc. Good action on the disc, but still just catching catching those late branches there on the tree to the left-hand side of the fairway. Still staying safe. With the wind turning into a bit of a roller. Wow.
Man, that really kept carrying. And she is going to find OB once again for the second time here on hole 18. And Heidi really hasn't had anything bigger than a single bogey, if I'm not mistaken. And Sonja laughing at herself a little bit. Yeah. You know, she definitely didn't come into this round thinking that she was going to shoot a number like 16 over, you know, and even the best players in the world, when they show up to the bigger events, they feel those nerves, and we all experience those nerves. So definitely nothing to be ashamed of and nothing to be afraid of. You know, don't not sign up for a big tournament just because you think you might be nervous. We are all nervous out there, guys.
The nerves are real, and we are on the European Pro Tour right now. Inaugural Pro Tour. What an honor to be playing in this event.
And Zoe, it's been an honor to sit here in the booth and commentate this FPO coverage with you. I'd like to thank UC and Juha and Koldo and Aleski and everyone at the NBDG for giving us this opportunity.
Round 1 is almost in the books, and it sure is. Although it is a double bogey there for our friend, that was a confidently cashed in putt.
That was one of her better putts of the round.
Camilla lining it up. Not quite the finish she was looking for, but will tap in this elevated basket.
Yeah, I can see now why this is playing is the most difficult hole on the course. I mean, you had all that out of bounds, a double island fairway, and then an elevated bucket to finish. But that's going to do it for round 1 of the 2022 Copenhagen Open. Let's take a look at the scores here. Heidi leading the pack on this card. Rachel Turton from
Only
the UK, shooting
over.
2 big, besting Heidi by 4.
We're looking forward to our card tomorrow. Please join us again for round 2 of the very first European Pro Tour.